welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. State Counsellor discusses with COVID-19 patients through video conferencing. China Communications Construction's Myanmar branch donates protective items to YCDC. A sharp decrease in sale force of coconut and banana. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. International flights have been suspended since the spread of COVID-19, but 96 Myanmar nationals returned from Incheon Airport in South Korea to Myanmar on a Myanmar Airways international flight at 8:45 p.m. on Thursday. The Myanmar government is working to recall Myanmar nationals facing difficulties residing abroad for various reasons. The 96 Myanmar nationals in South Korea were brought back in the first batch, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is complying with National Central Committee on Protection, Containment and Treatment of Coronavirus Diseases 2019 to cooperate with relevant ministries and the Myanmar Embassy in South Korea and the ROK government to negotiate to call them back. When 96 Myanmar nationals arrived at Yangon International Airport, ensuring immigration processes are efficient to comply with directives issued by the Ministry of Health and Sports, to be quarantined for 21 days at their designated hotels, which will be organized by the Ministry of Labor, Immigration and Population, Ministry of Health and Sports, and the Yangon Region Government. Charity organizations such as Blue Sky from Shuili, Mi Sao Pong Foundation, and Sao Chin Link Foundation from China donated COVID-19 prevention aids worth 48 million jets to Kok Kai, Nam Kam, and Musei townships in Shan State on Thursday through the border. The charity organizations handed over their donations worth 48 million jets, including 66,000 face masks and 3,480 hand sanitizers. From Myanmar's side, District Administrator U Lain Sultan and officials from the related townships received the donations. Then the officials from the Myanmar-China Bilateral Friendship Association gave them certificates of honor. And I believe it's time now for our first report. State Counsellor Do Aung San Suu Kyi held a video conferencing with the COVID-19 patients to share their experience when they are suffering the virus and how they're dealing with the disease. The participants included the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Myanmar, the first infected medical professional, and the patient who has been already discharged from the hospital.
In her capacity as the chairperson of the National Central Committee for Prevention, Control and Treatment of COVID-19, State Counsellor Do Aung San Suu Kyi hosted the video conferencing with the COVID-19 patients. Together with the State Counsellor, the participants Ko Thong Suan Khai, Case 01 from Chin State, Ko Jo Linte, Case 04 from Mandalay, and Dr. Myin Myin Singh, Case 30 from Pye, talk about their experience as the COVID-19 victims. The State Counsellor is hosting regular video conferencing with those who are participating in the fight against COVID-19, and this is the very first time of discussion with the COVID-19 patients. Ko Thong Suan Khai is the first patient to be reported on being infected with the COVID-19 on 23rd March after coming back from the United States. It has been a month and he is currently being treated at Tidim General Hospital, and he is doing well and he is in a stable situation. Although some of his family members and close contact persons are infected, they are also in good condition. Dr. Myin Myin Singh is an anesthesiologist from Pye General Hospital, and she is the first medical professional to be infected with COVID-19. She mentioned about the necessity of the medical workforce, new equipment for the new disease, training and professionalism of the medical workers in the act of dealing with the newly discovered disease.
First, the infrastructure of the hospitals is important in an effort to deal with newly discovered diseases or treatments. For the training and professionalism, it takes long to train a professional medical worker. Together with the health industry, the education sector comes to an important role. Now the universities of medicine are teaching the students with the help of advanced technology. All have to take time to change. We understand that the hospitals in remote areas are in need of infrastructure, equipment, and workforce. But it is great to witness that our country is rich of warm-hearted helpers who are giving aid to the government by donating the facilities. So we have to depend on the cooperation and the support of our citizens.
Kojo Linda, who is now under home quarantine after receiving negative results for twice, also shared that when he was in Cantonadi Hospital in Mandalay, there is insufficient basic supplies such as water, and the medical workforce is not enough to take care of the personal issue of the patients despite giving treatment. The state councillor claimed to take immediate actions to make sure to have enough basic supplies. For the personal care of the patients, she requested the volunteers to involve, like the volunteer group We Love Yangon is assisting in Wipaki Hospital. Having no proper treatment, it is important to depend on the immune system of the patients in fighting against the disease. The patients in the video conferencing shared that they have calmly accepted and are fighting the virus through most peaceful mindset and self-motivation. The state councillor also highlighted the needs of the psychological support for the patients.
I have suffered all the symptoms of COVID-19 except heart breathing in the first week, and I was in the state of being unable to move around. However, in the third week, although my test results show positive, I am able to be active. I can do singing, yoga, and dancing. I am expecting to have results showing positive because I have oxygen shortage. But I don't panic. I believe I can recover. Not all COVID-19 patients die. The patient have to make sure to enhance strong immune system. But I understand that not all people can resist the state of isolation. So, if possible, I want to suggest that the patient should have access to easy communication with the outside world. There's also breathing exercise and yoga video by the rehabilitation departments. These are the most essential tools in the bid to fight against COVID-19 since there is no proper treatment.
The state councillor said that self-motivation and belief of being able to recover are important for the patients. She encouraged the public not to panic or be over-frightened, but also not to be careless. According to the announcement, on the night of 28 April, there are a total of 149 cases, and 16 of the patients have already discharged from the hospital. That's all for now. This is Dora Susan from MI Radio.
That's the report on how State Councillor discusses with COVID-19 patients through video conferencing. China Communications Construction Company Limited donated 30,000 pieces of medical surgical masks and 432 pieces of medical goggles to the Yangon City Development Committee. The donation ceremony took place at Yangon City Hall on Monday.
China Communications Construction Company Limited donated 30,000 pieces of medical surgical masks and 432 pieces of medical goggles to the Yangon City Development Committee (YCDC). The donation ceremony took place at Yangon City Hall on 27 April, attended by Mangso, Yangon Mayor and Chairman of Yangon City Development Committee, and Mr. Deng Shufu, Economic and Commercial Counsellor of Chinese Embassy in Myanmar, and Mr. Ten Weixing, Managing Director of China Communications Constructions Myanmar Branch, and the official from YCDC, as well as the staff from Chinese Embassy and China Communication Constructions Myanmar Branch. Mangso, Mayor of Yangon, said.
ပုံမှန်အတိုင်းအတတ်သွားတယ်။ဥပမာတန်ရှင်းရေးရေရရှိရေးရေစိုးနောက်ပြီးပတ်ဝန်းကျင်တန်ရှင်းရေးကိစ္စတွေကတတ်သွားတယ်။အဲ COVID-19 နဲ့ပတ်သက် special task force ဆိုပြီးကျွန်တော်တတ်ဖွဲ့ထားတယ်။
The regular responsibilities the YCDC is assuming are such as waste management, water supply, and environmental regulations, and these measures are being carried out on a normal basis, and a special task force has been organized to perform the tasks pertinent to COVID-19. The YCDC is handling these two main working groups at the same time, but separately. The medical workers are now the main frontliners in the wake of the COVID-19, while the YCDC and its volunteers are also supporting them in their every effort. Before the quarantine center is opened up, we first arrange for the facility provision at the center, and then we are also assuming responsibility to carry out the dead body in case of the death among the suspected patients. For that reason, we need the sufficient number of qualified PPEs and other protective items as well. Most of the donations come to the regional government. For the regional government, they can only provide the equal number of these items in ration, so the direct donations like this are more efficient to us. All protective items are being received by the secretary team of YCDC, and then they're going to equally distribute to the places where necessary.
Mr. Tan Huaixing, Managing Director, China Communications Construction Myanmar Branch, said,
我们公司在缅甸已经经营了有20几年，我们有90%的员工来自于缅甸。
90% of all the staff in our company, China Communications Constructions Myanmar Branch, is Myanmar people. The company has been running for over 20 years in Myanmar. In my personal opinion, it can be said the Myanmar company. Many Chinese companies are also donating to the respective parts of the Myanmar government in the fight against COVID-19. Mostly, they are donating medical supplies to the Ministry of Health and Sports, but we consider Yangon is the most concerned city with the infection in current situation. So we donated directly to the YCDC for ensuring the fair and fast distribution of these protective items. There are some difficulties when taking these protective items from Beijing to Myanmar. We had to face many stages and days for the transportation of the protective items by land, because the airports are still not running normally. But we have plans to donate more to Myanmar.
The People's Republic of China donated 35 set of the ventilators and sent a team of medical experts to Myanmar government and a military medic delegation comprising medical experts to Myanmar Defense Services. Many Chinese business organizations are now donating medical supplies and cash to Myanmar to contain COVID-19. I am Pyoti Rido. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
That's the report on how China Communications Constructions Myanmar branch donates protective items to YCDC. Let's move on to the last report for the day. Under normal circumstances, people celebrated donation ceremonies and festivities during Tianjin. Now, with the ongoing COVID-19 crisis, is making the people across the world to feel afraid and nervous. Myanmar is the same matter, and the coronavirus issue is having severe effects on coconut and banana trades, the entrepreneurs of brokers have said. Min Tun, Zue Men, Yan Nine, and Ziamor reports.
Under normal circumstances, people celebrate donation ceremonies and festivals in this time when Tianjin is getting near as the season of summer already set in. Now the ongoing COVID-19 crisis is making the people across the world to feel afraid and nervous. Also, Myanmar is the same matter, and the coronavirus issue is having severe effects on coconut and banana trade, said the entrepreneurs of the Broker Sales Center. U Aung Jodu, owner of Bagia Coconut Broker Sales Center, said,
We are the wholesaler for Upper Myanmar. Coconuts are mainly being distributed to Meitila, Tachile, Mandalay, and Mongyua. Coconuts are coming from lower Myanmar. Now the ongoing COVID-19 crisis is having effect on almost everywhere across the world, including Myanmar. Our main target is Mandalay. Our business is not going well now as good as the previous moments. All of us are in a state of panic. In general, we set target for Dinjan. We are worried in case we have put a large amount of coconut and banana in storage as the virus issue is going on. For that reason, we dare not store larger amount now.
The coconuts from Ayeyarwady region and Rakhine State are entering Yangon, especially mainly distributed to Mandalay, the market of Upper Myanmar. Coconut trade is now seeing a sudden halt as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 issue.
Now the merchants have stopped the purchase and so coconut trade has been a sudden halt. Only about 2 to 3 trucks are now entering. Differences are a big gap. We are sending 1 to 2 trucks to Mandalay a day regularly, but this year it is not so easy to guess. We will be okay only if other side places order us. This year looks very differently and there's only 1 in 10 in our coconut trade.
Banana is the partner commodity of the coconut, and it also has to suffer severe effects. Banana sales force is typically rising near and during Dinjan. With the hope for Dinjan, the growers plant banana. Although the banana yield has been high, there is no demand. That is why difficulties are arising, according to the entrepreneurs of the Broker Sales Center. Umantante, secretary of Myanmar Banana Growers and Producer Group, said,
This year the virus makes banana trade become a sudden halt. But all of our broker sales center don't stop working, and we are selling goods to the merchants as much as we can. The bananas were grown with the hope of Dinjan, and now they are already ripe. This year banana market is not doing well, and it's not easy to sell bananas to the merchants. Some sellers have stopped working, and some have taken temporary retirement.
Not only the sale force of the coconut and banana, but also their prices have decreased. The government issued an order describing the people must stay at home in regions and states, including Yangon, to take preventative measures against ongoing COVID-19 virus. The local order gives trouble to coconut and banana traders and those who are depending on their business to some degree. Maungzo, worker from Usami Banana Broker Sales Center in Bagaya, said,
Our banana trade is not going well for over 1 month this year. We are selling our goods to regular merchants only. Those who buy about 100 bunches of banana regularly now purchase 30 to 50 bunches only. There has been a decrease in the sales of banana and the price declines this year as well. About 300 to 400 bunches of banana from Mandalay and Chaose as well as Shuibu are entering the market. Now there are no buyers in the market, but we have regular customers from all parts of the country. We earn only a little, just enough for family, but we can save.
The entrepreneurs of the Broker Sales Center said the assistance will be rendered to those who are dependent on coconut and banana business within their capacity. U Aung Chotu, owner of Bagya Coconut Broker Sales Center, said,
The virus is breaking out not our country alone. It goes around the world. I think we will deal with the situation to hope for the best. It is meant for our families and our workers. We will have to solve the problem within our capacity.
The entrepreneurs of the coconut and banana businesses point out that cooperation is a key factor and the people must follow the announcements issued by the government despite seeing severe effects on a variety of different types of businesses, because now is the important moment to take preventative measures against COVID-19.
That's the report on how there has been a sharp decrease in sale force of coconuts and bananas. Now to international news. It's been 3 weeks since the lockdown ended in Wuhan. The city has gradually tuned to normality. The first day of the Labor Day holiday has seen more people leaving their homes to go out and have fun. CGTN takes you to some hot spots in the city, including the Yellow Crane Tower, the East Lake, and the Han J Street.
Friday is the first day of China's 5-day Labor Day holiday. Many people here might feel disappointed that they can't go to movie theaters, karaoke bars, which still remain closed due to safety concerns, and also dining together in restaurants is difficult as physical distancing is still required. But the good news is that many scenic spots in the city have reopened. Now let's go take a look. This is the Yellow Crane Tower, the signature tourist attraction in Wuhan. It just reopened on Wednesday after more than 3 months of closure due to the pandemic. Its reopening brings hope to the city, symbolizing its recovery. But preventative measures come first. Ticket offices remain closed. Visitors can only buy tickets via online platforms. A total of 23 scenic spots have reopened in Wuhan ahead of the Labor Day holiday. Local authorities require them all to limit visitor volume to 30% of their normal capacity. Here we are at the most beautiful lake in Wuhan, the East Lake. It's definitely a first choice for the locals when it comes to outdoor activities. Now I'm walking on the beautiful Greenway, a perfect place for strolling, jogging, and cycling. The East Lake is 5 times bigger than the West Lake in Hangzhou. It's what many locals say they missed the most during the epidemic. Some volunteers have also come to offer help at the entrances and exits, making sure everyone scans and shows their QR health codes and keeps safe distances. Now we've arrived at the most renowned commercial street in Wuhan, the Chuhe Hanjie, or True River Han Street. Its name sounds Asian, but it's actually a fashion center, a hotspot for many young people for shopping and entertainment. Many local residents are thrilled to see the city's recovery.
很开心，很开心啊！我有啊，爸爸妈妈陪我一起出来，待在家里都要憋疯了。
很高兴武汉能够看到像今天这样的一个生机勃勃的一个状态，看到交通也恢复了，然后个商场啊也可以营业了，外面人流量也很大，所以我作为一个土生土长的武汉人，我欢迎全国的朋友都到武汉来玩，因为武汉绝对是最棒的。
吴钊 CGTN 武汉。
Voices from outside China have been saying that the first confirmed cases in both Canada and the U.S. state of New York were not from China. The National Post newspaper quoted data from Canada's largest province and said it was American travelers, not Chinese, who brought the virus to the country. Now, Canada brought in travel restrictions on China first in January before introducing restrictions on border with the U.S. Meantime, U.S. technology magnate and philanthropist Bill Gates said in an interview with CNN that Asia's testing and contact tracing ability is far better than of U.S. He said if America had made the right decisions in January and February to conduct community testing, it wouldn't be facing such economic costs. Also, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said last week that strains of the novel coronavirus first entered his state from Europe and not China, and that travel bans enacted by President Trump were too late to halt its spread. The U.S. intelligence community said it's concluded the coronavirus was not man-made or engineered. Contrary to its intelligence community, President Trump said he sees evidence indicating the virus originated in a lab in Wuhan. Take a look.
Well, President Trump took questions from reporters after an event at the White House, and he said he'd seen evidence that the COVID-19 virus originated in a laboratory in Wuhan in China.
And my question is, have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. We're going to see what it is.
He was then pressed by a reporter who asked him how he actually knew that, and President Trump said, "I can't tell you that I'm not allowed to tell you that. This exchange came just hours after we got a statement from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence here in Washington, making it very clear about their conclusion about where this coronavirus originated. That statement said that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence concurs with the wide scientific consensus that the COVID-19 virus was not man-made or genetically modified. So that statement very different to what we're hearing from the US president. The authorities here in Washington, D.C. said that they'd recorded the highest daily number of fatalities this week. That's 19 fatalities, so just short of 20. There have been approximately 2,000 fatalities in the greater Washington area. So that's the District of Columbia, of course, as well as sections of Virginia and Maryland, the two states that border the district. Well, the restrictions here in Washington, D.C. itself are set to be lifted on the 15th of May, but many people expect that date to be pushed back due to the situation here in the district.
That's all with the news and reports on Myanmar Today Review. Tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.